Hello again, everyone. Edwin Lerner back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about something a little bit different than what I ordinarily do, about a speculative fight between Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, both experts in martial arts, and just a hypothetical matchup between them, I would say, based on their astrology synastry, their astrological synastry. So anyway, and of course I'm donning the glasses in this one. Gives me an intellectual look anyway. But I just thing with me is my eyesight is deteriorating in my middle age. So here we go. Historical moment, first video, wearing the glasses. But getting to the synastry and who I think would win based on this. Well, the first thing about the synastry between Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. Well, look at the sun signs. Okay, the basic fundamental characters. You have, Bruce Lee had a Sagittarius sun. Jackie Chan has an Aries sun, and though their sun signs, they don't trine by aspect, or they trine by sign. And I could see the two of these people have a mutual admiration society for each other, basically. The basic characters are very comparable. Aries has little, Sun and Aries has little physical fear, and you figure that the Aries, Jackie Chan's Sun and Aries, it's about understanding. Sun is the conscious. Really, how to win and conquer, how to fight and win. And the Sun in Sagittarius, Bruce Lee, being that incorrigible optimist, so and can be very frank and fearless. This is where you would see, a lot of, the confidence with both these fighters against each other, because Aries is not easily discouraged. Sagittarius, again, is that eternal, incorrigible optimist. Now, another thing about the synastry with the ascendants. Bruce Lee has Sagittarius ascendant opposing Jackie Chan's Gemini ascendant, and the Jackie Chan, the Gemini ascendant at like 1 degree, I believe it is based on what I would call really, it's a mediocre C rating on Astro.com, but I'm going with it in this video. But just remember that that's speculative. Speaking of things that are speculative, you would have, and now with that synastry, again, the Bruce Lee with the Sagittarius ascendant making the opposition to Jackie Chan's Gemini ascendant. You have that sagacious, the wisdom of, Sagittarius, and going against that shrewd cleverness of Jackie Chan's Gemini ascendant, the higher education Sagittarius versus the street sense, the quick-wittedness of the Gemini ascendant Jackie Chan. And the ascendant in astrology can reflect how we win battles. So it's interesting you would have such a contrast in styles, and it's in these two. If Bruce Lee was still alive, I would not be surprised if the two of these people actually, had met, in a, as far as karate, a martial arts match between the two, because they are opposite. Bruce Lee does have Sagittarius. Bruce Lee has Gemini on the 7th house cusp of open adversaries and competition. So it reflects that could be somebody that could be an opponent, somebody that's an open enemy, basically a competitor. It could be a Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or one that embodies those characteristics. Now, you have the thing about this too is, now Bruce Lee, as far as their synastry, Bruce Lee's Neptune squares Jackie Chan's Mars in Sagittarius. Now it shows that Jackie Chan may be able to crush or break Bruce Lee's dreams of infallibility. Bruce Lee has the Neptune in Virgo, but Jackie Chan's fighting moves may cause, the Bruce Lee, to escape, because Neptune is about escapism. Now, another thing is that Bruce Lee's Mars in Scorpio makes a sextile to Jackie Chan's Mars in Sagittarius, an out of sign sextile aspect. Jackie Chan's Mars in Sagittarius is close to the galactic center position, so it shows right there that this is Mars is about fighting and combat. That Jackie Chan, it's almost like he was meant to do something monumental in connecting with fighting, something that was going to be very fortuitous for him, very lucky and fortunate, and naturally has gained him prosperity in his acting roles. And I don't know if he was ever in, like, I'm sure he probably was in some martial arts competition, may have gained money from that, but that is something I am not 100% sure of. The fact that you have the sextile aspect between Bruce Lee's Mars and Jackie Chan's Mars could indicate it could be a balanced fight. That these each one may be able to anticipate the actions of each other, and you have Bruce Lee with that Mars and Scorpio, can be, as far as, just a general, description of that, can do things that might seem insurmountable or unattainable to others, and, be willing to fight to the death. Mars and Scorpio, Jackie Chan's Mars and Sagittarius can give a lot of exuberance, enthusiasm, and optimism in terms of fighting. And this is where it's fairly, it shows that this fight could be very competitive. And going back to having these two having that disparity in the ascendants, the Sag ascendant versus the Gemini ascendant, again it goes to the more, the higher education, the wisdom of Bruce Lee versus the cleverness, the shrewdness of Jackie Chan. Another thing too, looking at their synastry, is that Bruce Lee's Pluto in Leo makes a sextile to Jackie Chan's ascendant, and Bruce Lee's Pluto makes a sextile to his own seventh house cusp of open enemies, of competition. So this could be an indicator that he can have an ability, I would think, to to dominate the opponent in this particular case. But that being said, I really do believe that this could be a very tough, very competitive type of match. And another thing is that Bruce Lee's South Node makes a conjunction to Jackie Chan's Sun, and the South Node can diminish and deplete and limit. It might limit Jackie Chan's aggressive Aries actions, and the vitality to some degree. Bruce Lee's Black Moon Lilith in Aries also makes a conjunction to Jackie Chan's Sun, and the thing about that is, that could somewhat darken, the vitality of, Jackie Chan, and it shows that Bruce Lee could be the formidable adversary of Jackie Chan, having, that synastry aspect, and being in Aries, the sign of combat, volatility, the anger. This is where where you could really see this in terms of the synastry is not really surprising. Another thing too is that interestingly enough, Bruce Lee's Jupiter falls in Jackie Chan's 12th house, and that could limit that luck, the exuberance, the optimism, and even hope of Jackie Chan in this fight. He may be able to do something through his moves that Jackie Chan, may be looking at this and saying, well, I'm getting a little more than I bargained for maybe in this fight. But here's another thing too, is that Jackie Chan's Saturn in Scorpio makes a conjunction to Bruce Lee's Mars in Scorpio, which could limit that vitality, the actions to some degree. So you have a little bit of that balance where, Bruce Lee might be able to limit the vitality of Jackie Chan, but the reverse can be true as well. It shows me that even though these people may be very trained when they fight each other, that when they, if they were to actually have fought each other, that each one could have, that ability to wear the other one down more than in most instances compared to other opponents that they would fight. Now, another thing too is that I want to say, with that, that Scorpio energy, with the Jackie Chan Saturn in Scorpio and Bruce Lee's Mars in Scorpio, it shows that the two of them can be, very it's a lot of resourcefulness and energy and resiliency, and, it's not, giving up, going to the bitter end. And you also have Jackie Chan, his Mars in Sagittarius falls in Bruce Lee's first house, which is important because it can show that his actions through, the fighting movements, and actions have a better chance of inflicting, some kind of harm on Bruce Lee and being able to make contact with the physical body. Sagittarius, rules the hips, it's the thighs, sciatic nerve. So there might be, some, injury where, Jackie Chan would be able to inflict harm in terms of those body parts of Bruce Lee. And also, too, you have Bruce Lee's Saturn, falls in Jackie Chan's 12th house. So that may undermine the confidence of Jackie Chan to some degree. I mean, keep in mind, Jackie Chan would be going up against, a legendary, renowned fighter with Bruce Lee. This would definitely be a battle for the ages, I would say. And what it would do, having Bruce Lee's Saturn fall in Jackie Chan's 12th house, Saturn in Taurus. Well, the thing about it is, I think it might expose some kind of weakness, and it could be some composure connected with Jackie Chan. Keep in mind, if Jackie Chan is, Gemini rising, even though that's the chart I looked at is based on a mediocre C rating on Astro.com. Composure and calmness can be a limitation or a weakness with Jackie Chan. And keep in mind too that Saturn in Taurus, that could be, limitations in self-worth. I think what Bruce Lee could do to with Jackie Chan is he can do something where he could diminish, the confidence to some degree, this self-worth. Saturn in the 12th house in a natal chart can show, diminished or depleted, confidence. And if you have somebody's Saturn falls in your own 12th house, that can show where that confidence may be diminished to some degree. And in this case, it's in Taurus, the sign connected, with self-worth, self-esteem, how one feels about oneself. Now, another thing, some other things I wanted to look at with this is that you have, in terms of, some composite placements, the composite Venus between these two is in Leo. So that could show a lot of, flamboyant energy, and it also shows that could be a lot of extravagant spending, I would think, for this fight as well. And you also have Jupiter at 29 degrees Taurus as far as the composite Jupiter. So that could show inflated, distorted money that may actually be spent on this fight, and even enlarge, all this self-worth, self-esteem, and, and just money in general. I would think, persistence, stubbornness, unwavering energy. This is where, this is where I could see how that could, how it could manifest that way if these two people were to fight. Could you imagine or envision a pay-per-view event that would take place between these two? And now, at this point in time, I mean, can you imagine the money that would actually garner. And it's a shame that Bruce Lee couldn't live when wasn't around, and it's tragic that he had to die at such a very relatively young age. And I think the circumstances may still be mysterious to some degree to this day. But what I want to get at is I want to close with who I think would win, and based on what I've seen astrologically, and even from a non-astrological vantage point, I would give the edge slightly to Bruce Lee in this. I think there's a few more placements in the synastry with Jackie Chan, which would show that that Bruce Lee could emerge victorious, but I would think it would be a very tight match. Now, I haven't researched how the karate or martial arts matches would go in terms of rounds, or how many minutes each round is, or what have you, but I could see this going close to the distance. In that, if that's how the matches can work, if you could potentially have a match go to the distance, that's something you may want to confer and look up on the internet. But I do believe there's enough where where I see where Bruce Lee could diminish the energy level, the actions of Jackie Chan enough, and maybe even put some seed of doubt in Jackie Chan's mind, that and be enough where he could emerge victorious. And it's very hard to go against Bruce Lee anyway. As great as Jackie Chan is and proficient as he is as a fighter, Bruce Lee, I mean, you're talking about something like almost immortal, like legendary status. And it just, I don't know. I would really have to see, somebody, comparable size defeat Bruce Lee in an actual bout in order to believe it. So I'll go with Bruce Lee in a very tight match over Jackie Chan. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Leonard saying, stay well.